Welcome back to Faith and Plans. The first thing I want to say real quick is I really appreciate all of the support from everybody, the feedback, you guys watching the videos, those of you that have subscribed. I really appreciate it. I had been wanting to do videos for a while and just never really had the guts to do it. But the planner community is so awesome and so supportive, and there's so many great people in it. You guys kind of gave me the confidence to keep going and keep trying. So I'm back with another video. What I'm gonna do for this one is compare teacher planners. So we have the Erin Condren teacher planner. I'm a teacher, I'm a special education teacher, and the Plum paper teacher planner, and then two sizes of the Plum paper teacher planner. Erin Condren only comes in one size, and Plum paper comes in two sizes. So the first thing we're gonna do is go through the Erin Condren planner so you guys can see what that looks like, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna compare it to the Plum paper planners in both of the sizes so you can see, because there's some definite differences. So the first thing is that this is the Erin Condren teacher planner. It has the really thick laminated cover. When you open it up, you have the cover page. This is the geometric pattern. I can't remember what it's called. It was actually the pattern for the 2020 life planners, the 7x9 Erin Condren planners. So you have your cover page. Oh, and there's also a retro pattern that you can get to, but I don't have that one. And then I have it customized with the black coil. So you have the cover page for the teacher lesson planner. You have an all about me page. So you can put your email, your phone number, your address, your school websites, passwords. I don't normally use this page, although the websites and passwords, I feel like it's gonna be a much longer list this year with all of the distance learning that's gonna be going on. So events and volunteers, you can put that down if you have like a room parent or something for your classroom, or special days that you know that are happening, like field trips, things like that. The communication log I don't use. I keep track of things digitally. As a special education teacher, there is not nearly enough room on here. But what I have done before is I've made this into a service provider registry, so to speak, list. So like, okay, this is the speech therapist, this is the occupational therapist, this is the physical therapist, and things like that. So I know exactly who I need to go to if I have a question about a student or about their services. Okay. Then you get into this calendar for 2021. So it starts in July 2020. It ends in December 2021. And then you have the year plan for the months. And it's always been a little interesting to me how this part of the teacher planner starts in July and goes through December, but on this page it starts in January and goes through December. So you can go through and redate it, cover it up with stickers or something, maybe to start it in July. But it's kind of interesting to me how that's just a regular year. Then you have a section of graph paper for whatever you want, whether it's, reference, seating charts, things like that. So you have a few pages of that. Then you have a couple notes pages before you get into the lesson planning section. So you have dates to remember in August. So you have a couple pages that are color coded to match August. And then you have your calendar, obviously, for the month, right? Events, dates, early release, things like that. These are the lesson planning pages. So you have the days going down the sides. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then across the top is where you can put your subjects or whatever you want it to look like. Whether it's for a student or a class or things like that. You can go on to Erin Condren and actually order custom stickers for these boxes, which I thought was kind of neat. The one thing I do wish about this planner is, especially because of the size, it takes up a lot of room on your desk. So if I want to, you know, like I can't flip it over and see a day. To see an entire day of what's going on, it's got to be completely open, which is not the most fun for me because that does take up a lot of space. So that's something to think about if, you know, space is an issue for you, or just kind of layout wise. When I first started using the Erin Condren planner, I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but I figured out pretty quick in my brain it was a big deal. So August, of course, it's color coded, so you have yellow. And then at the end of the month, you have a couple notes pages, and then you have 2 pages for the next month. And so that continues throughout the whole book. So like September is purple. And so like August 31st is still yellow, and then you have purple because that's when September starts. Then of course you have your notes pages at the end. October is orange. November's teal or turquoise. December's green. January's turquoise. February's pink. March is kind of like a mint green. I can get it turned. April's purple. May's peach. June is green. And July is blue. Okay, so now we're kind of at the end of the planner. So I'm gonna show you the way the end looks, because that's gonna be one of the big differences between an Erin Condren and a Plum paper teacher planner. So again, July is the last month. You have your notes pages for July. And then you have a checklist section. Okay, so you have student checklists. You can cut or fold along these lines right here if you want to use the checklist in the back. The checklists are the only thing that come in the Erin Condren. I think you can add extra checklists, but that's the only customization you can do to this other than the pockets in the back, which I'll show you. So you have your checklist section. Okay, and then your last page, teaching is more than imparting knowledge, it's inspiring change. And then you have stickers. I think they've been doing better with their stickers. I like that there's, you know, PTC, there's IEPs. I love that there's like a whole row of IEP stickers. You can mark staff meetings, so you have a few pages of the stickers. And then you have these labels, these are silver foil. And then just like in the life planners, you have the colorful back pocket. And then this is the part I was telling you about, you can customize a little bit. It comes with 1 page protector, but you can add an extra 2. So I have 3. And then it also comes with holiday stickers. So if you notice on the monthly layout, so we'll go to June since it's the closest one here. There aren't any holidays written on the calendar. So what they did was they gave you strips of holidays. So if there's certain holidays that apply to your class or your students or your life or something, you can put the ones down that you're gonna worry about. Like for example, September 7th is Labor Day, so you might put that in September. For June, there's a label for National Dairy Month for June 1st. If that's not a consideration or anything that you need to worry about, you don't have to worry about it. Not that dairy's not important, but maybe that's not something you're going to be focusing on in your class type thing. So, and it also comes with blank labels. So if there's holidays or a special event that you want to mark, but there isn't a sticker for, you can go ahead and do that. And so I actually have an extra set in here, just in case. And so I can use them in my Plum paper also. So right now we are going to switch over to the Plum paper. the large size and the 7x9 so that you can see what those look like. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at the big one. So this is the 8.5 by 11, and again, the cover's interchangeable. You can have them remove it or snip it so that you can remove it, which is what I have them do whenever I order from them. The other thing that you can do, but I think I actually forgot to do it when I ordered this one, is to snip the plastic layer. So they can actually snip that for you. And of course, this is the one time I can't get the cover back on. Okay. I've actually had them snip the plastic so you can take the plastic off it and make it removable, especially if you're going to put an Erin Condren cover on it, because you can. They do fit very well. I actually made a video showing how you can Frankenplan and interchange Erin Condren versus Plum paper and put them together. So, and it works the same for the larger sizes also. So the first thing that you see when you open up the large planner is you have your cover page where you can put your name. It goes straight into the pages for 2020. So you can mark whatever you want, future plan, which I don't recommend at the moment because nobody has any idea what's happening with digital instruction, distance learning, whatever you want to call it. Every district's doing something different. Then you have special dates. I like to put IEP dates in here because since I teach special education, and kind of keep track of important dates for my students. You have ideas, plans, and goals. So I like to keep track of things quarterly. So the colors are helpful because, you know, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So that kind of helps me plan out instruction for the quarters. Then you have a note page, and then you get into your months. Okay. So when you turn the page for your months, it's just like the life planner. You have your goals, you have birthdays, events, things to remember, and a couple spaces down here. You have a notes page, and then you get into your calendar. And it has just a little bit of color, so you can kind of do whatever it is that you want to do. We've got a little mini calendar to forward looking towards September. Okay. And then this is where it starts to get a little interesting. Plum paper has a lot of layouts that you can choose for teacher planners. I am a special education preschool kindergarten teacher this coming year. And so the layout that I chose is to have the days going straight down, and then I can have, you know, circle times and teams or small groups I can have down this side. And so one of the things I had mentioned about the Erin Condren is that you have to keep it open to see a day's worth of plans. The Plum paper, I like that I can just look at one day at a time, and I can keep it kind of turned over or doubled up. The other thing I like is that there's room for other things on here. There's still a ton of writing space, but here, for example, I have a little box for prep work, and then I have like weekly checklist, and then I have another calendar. You can customize the layouts with the titles of the sections. So I could have chosen to put what I wanted in here, but I don't know what I'm gonna put in there yet. I have a little box for Saturday and Sunday in case there's something that I need to do on the weekends. This says prep work, that's their standard label, but you can customize it to say nothing. You can customize it to say whatever you want. So the weekly checklist, and then you have the September calendar. Okay, so that's August. Keep flipping through. And then I added a sheet of notes at the end. So you can, one of the things you can do with Plum paper is do add-ons. And so I added an extra sheet of dot grid at the end of the month just in case, because I always worry about not having enough room to make notes. So it goes that way through the entire planner. So you have August, September. This calendar does have holidays on it. So for September, you have Labor Day, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. If you need to cover any of those up, it's super easy because they're really small. And then October, it's kind of a turquoise. November, December, January, all the way through July, just like the Erin Condren planner. And then now's where it's going to get interesting, or I think extra interesting. Every teacher planner comes with a section called My Class. If you are homeschooling, instead of My Class, it says Homeschool. But this, to me, really, really makes this planner and gets me really excited because I can customize this to what I need it to be. A comment people have made about Erin Condren is it's really good for elementary teachers, but if you teach middle school or high school and you have periods and lots of different things that you're doing, it doesn't quite fit totally. The My Class section is changeable. So for example, I chose the preschool kindergarten section because that's what I'm teaching this next year. So there are things in this section you're not going to see if you teach high school. There are parts of the section that are same, like this year's goal in 3 words, personal goals, organizational goals, planning goals, classroom goals. Teachers are always reflecting and changing and trying to make things better. So I like that there's a place here to do some of that work. And then monthly themes is super, super fun, I think, for preschool or kindergarten, because in this part I don't think is in the high school version of My Class, but I can write down, okay, maybe July our focus is the ocean, so we're going to do different activities to address that. My Class schedule, so you can put your routines in here, which I think is really, really cool. Student information. This is so important. Of course, we have things digital, we have emergency cards, but I'm all about having a place I can flip to really, really quick if I need to know who's allowed to pick up a student or what medications they're on or what allergies they have, or like when their birthday is and how to get a hold of their parents. And so I think this is awesome because it's a really, really quick way to reference it, and I'm not having to pull out a file or try to log in somewhere to get that information. And it's super important to try to help keep students safe. So I am all about that. They give you a few pages of that so that, depending on how many students you have. There's a substitute information page. I have a substitute folder and binder that I have for subs. I don't leave this with a substitute. This is my baby. So I will make a copy of this and I put it in the substitute binder, but I'm not going to leave this anywhere at school. Classroom arrangement. You can design your classroom on there. It's a place to kind of keep track of all of that. Field trips and special events. I pray we get to do those again. It kind of breaks my heart looking at this because there's all kinds of things like going to the zoo and going to the fair and seeing the animals we're just not going to be able to do this year. So I'm praying we can get back to that. Volunteer list, kind of like the Erin Condren had the section in the beginning of the planner. You can keep track of people that are willing to volunteer in your classroom. There's a student birthdays layout. So you can look and remember when your students' birthdays are. So especially when they're little, it's so fun to celebrate them and make them feel special. And then classroom resources, plenty of space. So you have 2 pages, you can just write down whatever it is that you need to keep track of, or I don't know how many times I've heard somebody say, oh, have you tried this or tried that? Or, for example, like, hey, you use Class Dojo. You can come in and just write a note, hey, check out Class Dojo, or whatever it is that you happen to be talking about. And you can write how much it costs too, which is kind of nice because if you pay for it yourself, because we know that's what teachers do, you can keep track of how much you're spending. Which leads me to this page. This page I don't want to use. I want to use it because I want to keep track of what I'm spending on my classroom, but I don't really want to know what I'm spending on my classroom. I don't want to be accountable like that. I don't know that I want to see what that actual number is. But this is a good place to keep track of what you're buying for your classroom, especially if you're blessed and are going to be reimbursed, or for tax time coming around, you can see what you're spending. And then parent communication. And like with the EC, I don't use these pages. My communication is all digital and it's way more than what can happen on these pages. Okay, behavior log. I keep track of it digitally. I have data sheets for this because we keep track of very specific behaviors. So this isn't something that really applies to my classroom. Professional development. I know that at least for me in my school, we're required to do so many hours. We're required to do so many different types of professional development, continued learning. So this is a good place to keep track of that, so you can pull it up later, or you can pull it up later and look if you need to put something on your resume and go, oh, hey, I went to that ABA training that day, so I can put that down that I attended. You have project ideas pages. And then at the end, you have this past year in 3 words, kind of a reflection, how you succeeded, how you can improve, personal, organizational, planning goals, professional goals, which I think is really cool to reflect on the year and decide what you want to do differently next year, what you want to keep continuing to do. And then the next section is their checklists. And so these are the checklist that Plum Paper has. They don't have the cut lines like EC does, but you can always add those in if you want to. I use these for like permission slips or things that I need to keep track of the student. I don't use this as a grade book. I might use it to, okay, Johnny has, I could make the speech or OT, and then I can just check off what services he has or the students have. So at a quick glance, I can tell, okay, this is what the student has. And then parts of the IEP process, I can check off when those are completed for the student. Okay. And then you have the notes section, which I added a bunch to. It doesn't normally come with a note section, but I added, I think, 20 pages so that I had plenty of room, because like I said, I just feel better if I have extra notes pages. And then at the end of the teacher planner, you have a passwords list, which you probably shouldn't use. Distance learning, it might not matter, but I've seen some people say they do use this, but then they'll just give a hint instead of the actual password. Then you have a page for your contacts. A double-sided page for that. You have the holidays for 20, 21, and 22, and that can be a little helpful for future planning, I think. And then you have 2022 year at a glance. And then these are the stickers. The stickers are also personalized to the type of planner that you get. For example, because this is preschool, kindergarten, early elementary, there's crayons and handprints. You have like color work, you have party, but you still have things like staff meeting, snack, break. So you wouldn't necessarily see crayons in a high school planner, for example. And then this page, your Thanksgiving feast, some washi, school program, things like that. You have no class, break. So I think I added the preschool and then the elementary section to this, the teacher pack. And then you have your folder. And then just like the Erin Condren, you have the page protectors. I added 3. So the max you can get for Erin Condren is 3. I have 4 in my teacher planner, just for funsies. And I will definitely use them. I put district calendars, I put like cheat sheets and things like that, reference information in here. And so that's the large Plum paper. And then what I'm actually going to show you in the smaller one is this version in the 7x9. So that's what I got for the smaller one. So the smaller one, the sizes and things, or the size of course is different, and the layouts are slightly different, but it's set up the same way. So you have your cover, have your year at a glance. I'm going to try to flip a little more with this one so you can see it. You still have your special dates section. For example, okay, so you have, this is the special dates in the 8.5 by 11. This is the 7x9. So you can see it's dramatically smaller, which may not be a bad thing depending on what you're wanting. But then you have your ideas, plans, goals. And then once you get to the planning pages, this is this is the layout that's closest to the 8.5 by 11 layout. So I'm going to show you how that ends up looking. So in the big one, you have the days going down, and then you have where you can customize with the subjects or whatever you want to make it, prep work, checklist, etc. On the 7x9, this is the similar layout. So you still have Saturday and Sunday on the side. You have your prep work. You have a place for notes, your to-dos. These are way smaller. So this is actually really similar to the Me layout in the regular planners, but it doesn't have the labels on the sides. But again, maybe if you're doing distance learning for 1 or 2 kids or students, it might work. So you have those pages. I added to-do lists at the end so I could categorize what the to-do list is for. I added an extra sheet of notes pages, which you can't do to the Erin Condren. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you have the same thing, like I said, through August, September, January, February. We're going to skip to July. So to the end of July. And then again, you have my class. So this is the same my class section as I have in the big one. It's the preschool kindergarten version. So you have your schedule, on tier list, field trips. I want to keep things too long. So you have the same my class section, and then you have your checklists, and then Plum paper has add-ons. So I added, of course we know they have add-ons, etc. I added the meetings add-on because I wish I had added it to my big planner, because teachers spend tons and tons of time in meetings. So I wanted to show that to you because you can add that to a teacher planner if you decide to get one from them. And actually really kind of like the layout of this. So the topic, attendees, the date, the time, the notes, meeting recap, action items. So I thought this was super cool. So you could keep your meeting notes kind of together. And I like the one sheet design that they have for it. And then the meeting section, I believe it's 10 pages. So it's 20 meetings worth that's in here. And then I also added more notes pages. And then I also have the same stickers, but for the smaller size, obviously. And then you have the pocket. And then I have the 4 page protectors. So that's the 7x9. As you can see, it is a lot smaller, like if you're looking at this layout, but it's the same size as like a life planner or a 7x9 Plum paper planner or any of those other planners. And I know one of the things people talk about is the size, because this can be a lot to carry around with you. And so some people really don't like the size. And I've heard a lot of people and a lot of reviews about a lot of teacher planners go, why can't it be smaller? So Plum Paper has a smaller option for you. You just have to decide if it'll work. And like I said, they have so many different layouts that you can choose from, and you can customize it to your grade level. So it's really, you know, up to you what you want. I'm deciding. I can't quite decide yet what I want to do for this year. I'm going to be keeping track of my students. I have a first grader this year of my own, and then I have a ninth grader this year of my own. And we will all be doing distance learning. So let me know if you want to see a video about how I set these up, or how I'm planning for distance learning, or how I'm keeping track of my kids' stuff and my students' stuff. Or even if you want to see maybe the routines or the different setups or some of the hacks, I guess, that I'm going to be using for distance learning this year. And I would love to hear what you guys are doing, if you have any tips or tricks, because I think we're all stressing about it. So I'm hoping to maybe make a video with collections of all the awesomeness that our community has, because especially as planners and we like putting things together, I think the more we share with each other, it's going to really, really help everybody get through this. So if you're interested in a video like that, or if you're interested in any Plum Paper videos, etc., please go ahead and like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Your guys' support has been amazing so far, as I've been trying to start this and do this and come out of my shell a little bit. But I know this video is getting super, super long, so I am going to let you guys go, but I will see you later. Bye.